Welcome to our video voice series. My name is Justin, and today we're going to be talking about vowels. Now, vowels are some of the most important parts of singing, in fact. Now, there's obviously consonants, there's a lot more of them, but vowels are the things that tone will ride. I will say that again. Vowels are the things that tone will ride. It has to have a vehicle to do that with, and that's what vowels will do. Now, if you're from America, if you're from around this area here, you might find that your vowels might sound different from other people's vowels. So from where I'm from, on the northeast of America, we tend to have a little bit of a slighter accent on our vowels. So when we say A, we go A, E, I, O, U. It tends to be very forward, tends to be very direct. But if you go, let's say, to Europe, let's just say it's France, those tend to be rounder sounding vowels. Now, what we learn as we go through this process of singing is that a lot of it tends to be what we call rounded vowels, or what we would say Italian vowels. If you, let's say you do chorus, let's say you do choir, right? A lot of the times when you're doing those kinds of things and you're singing with other people, your choir teacher might mention, we're going to do Italian vowels. Now, what does that mean? Well, there's the 5 vowels, but their sounds are much, much different. So A, E, I, O, U, you would think are those. But with Italian vowels, we have A, E, O, U. Now notice, I keep my mouth quite rounded out, and I'm even dropping my jaw a little. And it's all about one central theme, and that's openness. Openness, openness, openness. It's all about that. Because if you don't have that, sound has nowhere to move. You need to move the sound, and that requires openness. So, let's go through those vowels again. A, E, O, U. Now, if you're not sure about making those sounds, what you might find is it's easier if you think about the sound being pulled in toward you rather than you trying to push that sound out. It's more about trying to have that sound come towards you. Otherwise, you will always be wasting your breath. We talked about that in our breath series as well, correct? So, what we want to remember is saving our breath by creating more space and letting that vowel be more rounded. So let's start with the A or the Ah. Let's try Ah. Ah. Right? Now with the E, it would be Eh, almost like an EH, right? Now Ah, E. Oh. In fact, it wouldn't be like an I at all. You would think it's almost like an EEH, actually. Right? So a lot of these don't close off totally, and we'll talk about that in a second. O. Pretty obvious. Just keep that shape with the mouth as an O. And then ooh. Notice that drop. That drop in the jaw is really, really crucial because it's very, very likened to yawning. And what that will be is something that's going to be related to those vowels, is yawning. If you yawn these out, or pulling that sound in, very, very similar here, what you'll find is you're going to get these tonalities really, really well. Now, they might sound funny at first. You might be like, Justin, why is this related to singing at all? Because I'm just going to sound funny while I do it. I see your point. But we'll talk about how we can take that tone and transform it to the one we love. But first we need sound to move. Remember, it needs that vehicle. It needs to move through space. And we're giving it space by opening up on these vowels. Okay? So, for example, I might say the word I. In fact, I would say I is one of the most used words in songs. So you see I all over the place. And you would obviously assume I is just the letter I. And it's the vowel I. But in singing, that vowel happens to be an I. We call that a compound vowel. Compound vowel just meaning 2 vowels or maybe 3 vowels in one word or one vowel, right? So in this case, 1 word and 1 vowel. Now, what you'll find here is that there is a dominant and a recessive on that. I. The dominant is the ah, and the recessive being the E sound, right? What we want is space. Ah will give us more space. E will close it off. So what you want to do is keep that ah, right? You hold ah. So for example, if I were to sing this and create tonality with it, it'd be a I, right? See that difference? If I went right for the E and went I, it closes that off to where all of a sudden breath could be lost and more tension is created, which we just tried to get rid of tension before. We don't need more of it. So what we really want to do is make sure we have that openness to allow those vowels to sing out. So look for those open sounds in all of our vowels. All right? So I is a good example. Ah, ah, ah. We're finding those vowels that are open that way. So a good way to try this and really practice is by yawning out all of these Italian vowels. So we'll start with ah and yawn it out. Oh. And this is, again, going back to all the sighs that we've done already. So sighing is so useful, and we can use this in a lot of ways to make sure we ensure relaxation and openness that we're talking about today. So let's try that again. Ah, and let it all out. Oh. Again, relaxing it out with a yawn. Good. Now, let's see if we can try that with an eh. Ready? Good. Let's try that with an e. O. Oh. And finally, ooh. Ooh. And again, yawning through our Italian vowels. We will be talking much more about these vowels as we go further, but we want to make sure we're getting used to those sounds. So just sighing out these vowels and feeling them, because a lot of what singing is not only listening, but feeling. And we need to know what this feels like. So try it out in your own free time, and let's make sure we really get a good resonance and a good vibration out of this so we can create openness through our new vowels.